it's a bit tough.
Really? No electricity. What makes it tough?
No electricity, no space. Basically no free space.
No free space. That was nearly ready. Nearly completed.
Maybe 1-2 years more. Prabhu is from
Yeah.
From Seth.
Yeah.
He was saying.
Okay, so we're going on chapter 13. Let's finish it off here. Chapter 13. We heard Indra. All the demigods were very happy. Vritrasura was killed. They're very happy. They're congratulating Indra. But Indra is not happy. Indra is morose. Indra is feeling very bad. Everybody was happy. Everybody else was pleased except for Indra. So what is the problem? The demigods all returned to their homes. They all went back. And then Indra also was, who was it? No one spoke to Indra. They all went back. These are the great, the demons killed. And they all went home. And nobody bothered to speak to Indra.
Right?
Huh?
Right? No one spoke to Indra because those people only encouraged him to kill.
Yeah, but we will read here. He was disturbed at having killed Vritrasura, who was actually a Brahmana. After killing Vritrasura, Indra went to Manasarova lake to become free from sinful reactions. When he left the lake, he performed Ashwamedha Yagya and then returned to his own abode. So that's the summary of what's going to happen. We're going to hear more in detail here what happened. So, Maharaj Parikshit asked Sukadeva Goswami, what was the reason for Indra to be unhappy? He killed Vritrasura, the demigods were happy. Why was Indra unhappy? So, Indra was unhappy because he killed a great devotee and Brahmana. Vritrasura was a demon, but inwardly he was a devotee, so therefore he was a great Brahmana. So other people like Prahlad, Bali Maharaj, they're born in demon families, but they're devotees. So Vritrasura went back to Godhead. He went to, here it says, Vaikuntha Loka, to become an associate of Sankarshan. A Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. Because he's a topmost Vaishnava, so he must be a Brahmana. And Prabhupada gives this example here. A millionaire may very easily possess hundreds and thousands of dollars, but a person with hundreds and thousands of dollars is not necessarily a millionaire. Vritrasura was a perfect Vaishnava, and therefore he was also a Brahmana. Right? The position of the Vaishnava is superior to that of a Brahmana. So one who is a Vaishnava, he must also be a Brahmana. Prabhupada would tell us, it's not a very easy thing to become a Vaishnava. You know, we may think I'm a Vaishnava, but it's not so easy thing. And you to develop actually the qualities of a Vaishnava, then you have to have all the Brahminical qualities, and then you have to also be devotee.
So, Maharaj, so in that case, that Vaishnava offense, Vaishnava Pada, what we do or somebody, rare in that all the Vaishnava qualities having in a Vaishnava is very rare.
Mm.
So when that aparad counts,
Mm.
no offences. So those who are not Vaishnava, that means if we do some offense, that is not counted, no? Vaishnava. Number of Vaishnavas as per this is Vaishnavas very rare,
Mhm.
because that Vaishnava qualities is so many qualities.
Yes.
That is very rare. So that Vaishnava aparad offense, what we do?
If you commit an offense against a Vaishnava,
No, I mean that normally what we think that Vaishnava aparad, that means that is not the offense, because they are not the Vaishnava.
He's
Oh, they're
asking
not
if
Vaishnava.
somebody, he's asking somebody not a Vaishnava, if you do offense to him, is that a Vaishnava offense?
Is it Vaishnava offense?
well, a devotee is respectful to all living entities. We offer our respects to everyone. If you've offended someone, you can also offer obeisances to them and beg forgiveness. We try not to offend people. Of course, it's not easy to please everyone. We try to please Guru and Krishna. If you please Guru and Krishna, that's very good. You may not please everyone. Especially people who are not devotees, they may not appreciate what you're doing. But still, we don't purposely offend them. You know, Indra, impulsively he killed Vishwarup. When he killed that Brahmin Vishwarup, he did it impulsively. But now, this killing of Vritrasura, this was done with a lot of, you know, he suddenly, it wasn't impulsive. He'd been thinking about it and he did it, you know. So he gets more reaction, more serious reaction for killing Vritrasura than he got for killing Vishwarup. Because Vishwarup, he did it impulsive on the spur of the moment in his anger. But with Vritrasura, you know, he was thinking about it, and they were talking about it, and you know, Vritrasura is telling him, you know, come on, kill me, you know, don't be attached. Victory of defeat, it's not in your hands, it's in the hands of the Lord. So there was a lot of premeditation going on before he actually killed Vritrasura. So you get more reaction because it was done with a lot of thought. Of course, you could say, well, he got told by Lord Vishnu that you get the bones from the Daichi and you can kill him. So he got told by the Lord that you could kill him in this way, using the Daichi's bones, make a weapon. And the Brahmanas, all the Brahmanas and demigods, they were all telling him, kill him. You know, kill him, he's a demon, kill him. So when he did it, you know, he gets reaction, and the people telling him to do it, they also get reactions. The Brahmanas who are telling him to do that, they also have to get some reaction. Because they were telling him, kill him. So when he did it, they all got reaction, yeah.
Maharaj, it was a fight, a battle, and like there are 6 kind of aggressor you can kill, and no reaction, no sin. As one of them, he is defending himself. He's rushing with the weapon to kill him or swallowed him. So to defend himself, he could kill him and get away with the reaction.
Yeah, but that's Artha Shastra, that's not Dharma Shastra. The 6 reasons to kill somebody, that's Artha Shastra, that's not Dharma Shastra.
Well, if they are not valid, then why to give them? As Shastra or Dharma Shastra?
And they're different Shastras, speaking on a different level. You can't just go and do that. You know, you say, well, it's in the Shastra. Yeah, it's in Shastra. What Shastra is it? It's in this Artha Shastra, not in Dharma Shastra. It's not Dharma. If you look in Parijan Prabhu, surrender unto me. It's explained there.
One more question here.
Uh,
That weapon, thunderbolt. So ultimately, what Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Bhakti said that he left his body before Indra killed him. So that thunderbolt was of no use. Was it useful to kill the Vishnu?
well, he cut off the head.
But that time he is already dead.
Yeah, but he wants to show the common people. Right? Otherwise they'll be thinking he may come back to life again.
Who wanted to show Maharaj? Indra wanted to show to common people. Indra wanted to show to common people that he is dead now.
Yeah.
But then he knew that he is already gone. Then why is feeling remorseful? He knew that he was already dead. I cut a dead body only. There is no reaction.
Well, that doesn't mean necessarily Indra knew it, but at least he wanted to cut the head off, you know. And that he didn't. He doesn't know. Is he in trance? Has he just gone out? And will he come back? They want to make sure. When you cut the head off, then there's no way he can come back. Anyway, Sukadeva Goswami says, all the great sages were disturbed by the power of Vajrasura. They assembled to ask Indra to kill. Indra, however, being afraid of killing a Brahmana, declined their request. Indra didn't want to kill him because he knew he's a Brahmana. You kill him, you're going to get some reaction, you know. But still, they were requesting. So when I killed Vishwarup, the first one, when he killed Vishwarup, I got sinful reactions. But I was able to give some of those reactions away to the women and to land, to trees and to water. So I was able to divide the sin among them. Now, if I kill Vritasura, another Brahmana, how shall I free myself from sinful reactions? Right? And it's going to be more serious because it's premeditated. The first time it was not premeditated. He'd done it in anger. So the sages anyway, they tell Indra, they say, oh, don't worry, we will do Ashwamedha sacrifice to free you from sin. Any sin you may get from killing the Brahmana. We will do Ashwamedha sacrifice. And then the rishis tell them, by doing Ashwamedha, pleasing the Supreme Lord, Lord Narayan, one can get free of sinful reactions for killing the whole world. What to speak of killing a demon like Vritrasura? So he's just a demon, you know, you're not going to get sinful reactions much because he's a demon. This is what the rishis are saying.
Are these Karmakandi type brahmanas, I'm assuming, that they're suggesting such a thing? Because it doesn't seem like devotees of Lord Vishnu would suggest such a thing. It seems like they're also selfish, that they also want to enjoy the heavenly things.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's a fact. That they're also thinking about their own enjoyment. Yes. So they also get reactions when he was killed. They also have to they got something. So one who's killed a Brahmana, killed a cow, killed his mother, father, spiritual master, get free from sinful reactions simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Narayan. But then they tell Indra, you are a devotee, we shall help you by performing the horse sacrifice. If you please Lord Narayan in that way, why should you be afraid? You will be freed even if you kill the entire universe. So, yeah, they're really Karmakandi people, very good. They're telling him all these things. Just chanting the holy name can free you from more sins than you can commit. Well, it's true. One time chanting the holy name can free you from all kinds of sins, right? But under what conditions?
It should be offenseless chanting.
Offenseless chanting, right? Without offense, yes. If we chant without offense, then we can get free from this. What then is to be said of those who chant the holy name regularly or worship the deity regularly? For such purified devotees, freedom from sinful reactions is assured. And the Lord's holy name can neutralize all sinful activities. If one repeatedly and intentionally commits sins while chanting the holy name, he is most condemned. Alright? So Prabhupada talks about this idea of devised atonement that cannot relieve a person from sinful acts. You cannot get free of your sins by thinking, well, I'm going to do this, but I'll chant Hare Krishna to make up for it.
No, it will not work.
Yeah, that is committing sin on the strength of chanting. So anyway, Indra was encouraged by their words, so he killed Vritasura. And when he killed Vritasura, the sinful reaction for killing a Brahmana took shelter of Indra. Alright, the Brahmahatya, to kill a Brahmana, very serious, very big sin. So, it's got reactions. Prabhupada explains, Indra had killed one Brahmana, Vishwarup, out of circumstantial anger. But this time, following the advice of the sages, he killed another Brahmana purposely. Purposely, I mean intentionally he did it. Previously he just did it without thinking about it. It was because he was angry. So on the spur of the moment, impulsively killed him. But this second time, when he killed Vritrasura, he did it intentionally. So the sinful reaction was greater than before. So you cannot get freed simply by doing some atonement. He had to undergo a severe series of sinful reactions. And then he was allowed, then the Brahmanas allowed him to perform the horse sacrifice. But first he had the planned execution of sinful deeds on the strength of chanting the holy name or undergoing prayaschit cannot give relief to anyone, even to Indra or Nahusha. Nahusha had taken the place of Indra while Indra was away from heaven. Because Indra was going here and there to get free from his sinful reactions. So at that time Nahusha became the king of heaven. Someone had to be king of heaven. Just like Yamaraj. When Yamaraj got cursed, somebody had to take Yamaraj's position. So Indra had to go away. He got Nahusha to take his place. But Nahusha got trouble. Nahusha got a problem. Because you get a big position and you get opulence, it goes to the head. And you become proud. And you want to enjoy. You want sense gratification. So Nahusha, it happened that he got lusty towards Indra's wife. And he was telling Indra's wife, now I am Indra. So, now I am Indra. Indra, the other Indra's gone away. Now I'm Indra. You're my wife. You know? He's telling Sachi like this. So Sachi was, what kind of person is this? So she told the sages. So the sages told her what to do. They said, tell Nahusha he should get a palanquin, and he should ride on the palanquin, and he should have some brahmanas carry the palanquin. So Sachi told Nahusha like this, that you should get a palanquin and have the brahmanas carry you on the palanquin. So Nahusha thought, yeah, all right. So he arranged a palanquin, and he got the brahmanas to carry him on the palanquin. But when he was on the palanquin, his foot touched one of the brahmanas who were carrying the palanquin. And so they got angry and they cursed him. Cursed him to become a snake. That was what happened to Nahusha. He became a
So
snake.
that Brahmana cursed Nahusha.
Yeah, because his foot touched the Brahmana. Nahusha's foot touched the Brahmana. So Nahusha thought, this man's so proud. He cursed him to become a snake. He committed sin. He'd been, lusty after Indra's wife. And so he got the reaction. He cursed, he became a snake.
Is that the same snake who captured Bhima in Mahabharata?
Huh?
The same snake who captured Bhima in Mahabharata? Bhima was captured by one snake.
Oh, really? I don't know. I'm not so familiar.
It was, I heard like that.
What?
I'm not sure, but when in forest, Bhimsena went, snake captured his left arm and he could not free himself. Then he asked, who are you? Because my whole eyes, I put my full strength, still I am not able to free myself. So you are not an ordinary person. So the snake told, you have to answer some of my questions. So I want to ask them to your elder brother Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was searching for Bhima, he came across there and he answered the questions. And then he got freed from that body, that snake.
Who is the snake?
Huh? The snake was Nahusha? I don't know. Anyway, something to that. Prabhupada writes, one cannot be happy committing sinful acts, even if one is endowed with material opulence. And you see that, some of the people who have all the wealth, very opulent, are not happy. Not very happy people. There's Ambarish Fort. He came a few years ago, he came with his mother's ashes to put in the Ganga. And he was telling the devotee, he said, one thing I learned from my mother is that even if you have money, you cannot be happy. He said, my mother had so much money, she could have anything she wanted, so much opulence, but she was not happy. So this is the thing. People, although they have wealth, doesn't mean they'll be happy. People think they'll be happy. So Indra was always unhappy because of the act. Look at this. In spite of being king of heaven and enjoying material opulence, Indra was always unhappy. Why was he unhappy? Because of the accusations of the public. The people were saying things about him. They were saying, the people were saying things about him, like they were saying, this person has killed a Brahmana for the sake of enjoying heavenly material happiness. People were blaspheming him. They were saying like that, he's killed a Brahmana. This person. So people say things like that about you, very unpleasant. But you cannot be happy. If you're accused of these things, nobody will feel happy. So Indra was like that. People were talking about him. Oh, there's Indra. He killed a Brahmana.
But if it's true, then you shouldn't be bothered by it because you have to accept that you did it. But if when people are gossiping about things that are not true, then it should be painful. But this is true, like he did do it.
Yeah, but then look what else they're saying. He did it for the sake of enjoying heavenly material happiness. Now, did Indra actually do it? Yeah, you could say he did do it like that for the sake. But when people confront you or say it to your face like that, then certainly you'll feel very uncomfortable because the motivation is so bad. You did it for material happiness. Indra killed this Brahmana just so that he could continue to enjoy the heavenly opulence. So that is painful, that is disgraceful. So that was one reaction he got, being like that hearing bad things said about him. And here's another reaction he got. Sin personified, chasing him. And she appears like a Chandala woman. And she's old, and her body's trembling, and she's got tuberculosis. Means her body was covered with blood, breathing an unbearable fishy odor that polluted the entire street. She called to Indra, "Wait, wait!" You see? So this is simple reaction chasing him. You know, people have TB, tuberculosis, TB, you know, they have TB colonies. You know, where people have TB, they have a special colony where they keep people there with TB because it's so contagious. They try to keep people away from the public, to keep them away because it's easy to get it. Somebody's got TB and they're going around, give it to everyone. So a person's got TB, it's very unpleasant. They vomit blood, makes the garments bloody. You eat too much, you get disease. You know what happens when you eat too much, overeating? What disease will you get?
Indigestion.
Huh?
Indigestion.
Diabetes. And if you eat too little, you know what you get? TB, tuberculosis. You don't eat properly. I was giving a class one place in Asia. So I was giving a class about the yogi eat too much. Can it be a yogi eat too much or eat too little, you know? And I was saying, you know, you eat too much, you know, you'd be diabetic. You eat too little, you'd be TB. Turned out there were 2 or 3 people with diabetes and 1 person had TB. In the class.
In my family, my gran and her father are the only surviving members, otherwise their entire dynasty was wiped out with TB.
Wiped out with TB?
Yeah, my gran had like 13 brothers and 6 sisters. They all died, all of them, all their husbands, all their children. So my gran and her father were the only survivors. So she had no family. Her father brought her up from the age of 4. Otherwise she had nobody. They all got TB, the entire village.
Entire village, yeah. Yeah, we had one boy, I was in the Philippines, we had this one boy came and he wanted to be a devotee, but found that he came from the TB camp, you know. He came from the TB colony, you know. I said, oh my, you know. I'm trying to tell him, you know, I want to be a devotee, I want to stay here. difficult, you know. You say, well, I'm sorry, Prabhu, you know, we've got to think about the other devotees, you know. He said, no, I'm staying there, but I'm not contagious, you know. Very difficult. Anyway, Indra sees sin personified, this woman is chasing him, and he runs away, but she follows him wherever he went, and so he went to the Manasarova lake. He went to this Manasarova lake, a big lake in the north of India somewhere, and what Indra does is he becomes invisible to everyone, and he lived in the lake for 1,000 years in the subtle fibers of the stem of a lotus. He lived in this, you know, the stem of the lotus is always sitting up, you know, the long stem. So he was living in the fibers of the lotus flower. Somehow he was living there. And the fire god would bring him his share from the yagyas. But the fire god couldn't enter the water. So Indra was practically starving. Indra was safe there in the stem of the lotus because this lake was guarded by the followers of Lord Shiva. And they didn't let this sin personified Chandala lady come there.
That is in Himalaya. Manasarova Lake?
Manasarova, yeah, Manasarova.
Not in this Himalaya.
So now we're told about Nahusa. Indra was in the water in the state, and he stayed there for 1,000 years. So during that time, Nahusa became the king of heaven, because Nahusa had knowledge, he had some austerity, and had mystic power. However, blinded and maddened by power and opulence, he made undesirable proposals to Indra's wife with a desire to enjoy it. Thus, Nahusa was cursed by a Brahmana and later became a snake. Opulence. And remember in the beginning, Indra was the king of heaven, and he was being worshipped by all the devas and Gandharvas and everyone. And he didn't respect his guru. And here also Nahusa, blinded by opulence, gets cursed to become a snake. So the lesson, very important lessons in this section about humility and how dangerous it is to have power and opulence. You know, to get some power, it goes to the head. Opulence, pride comes before the fall. You have to be very cautious to accept any power or opulence. You should be very, very careful. It can ruin people. It has ruined many people. Bhogaisvarya Prasaptanam? Yeah? Those who are on this path, and in the minds of those who are attached to material opulence and sense gratification, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service does not take place. You have to be very careful about power and opulence, accepting power and opulence. Very dangerous. So Indra's sins were diminished by the influence of Rudra, the demigod of all directions. Because Indra was protected by the goddess of fortune, Lord Vishnu's wife, who resides in the lotus clusters of Manasa Sarovar Lake, Indra's sins could not affect him. Indra was ultimately relieved of all the reactions of his sinful deeds by strictly worshipping Lord Vishnu. So, let's see how much trouble Indra had to go to get free from his sinful reactions. He was, first of all, he's protected by the goddess of fortune, Lord Vishnu's wife. And he was also, his sins were diminished by the influence of Rudra. So we've got the influence of Rudra, we've got the protection of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, Lord Vishnu's wife, and he's also worshipped Lord Vishnu. So three personalities, he's getting mercy from three different persons. And in this way, he gets relieved of all the reactions of his deeds. And then he was called back to the heavenly planets by the Brahmanas, and then he becomes Indra again. But so much trouble he had to go through, he had to, not easy to put up with all this, but he had to undergo to get free from his sinful reactions. So when he comes back to heaven, then the Brahmanas approached him, and then they did the horse sacrifice, the Ashwamedha Yajna, which is meant to please the Supreme Lord. For Ashwamedha Yajna cannot be done in the Kali Yuga. Ashwamedham kapalam yam sanyasam palipaitakam. Well, people will say, well, if you can take sannyas, then you can do Ashwamedha Yajna. Ashwamedha.
It's interesting that he didn't get to do the Ashwamedha Yajna straight away. He still had to suffer for.
He had to purify himself. Yeah, he had to get rid of the sins before he could do the Ashwamedha Yajna. The Brahmanas wouldn't consider doing it until he first of all got relief from the sinful reaction. Although the purpose of the Ashwamedha Yajna was meant to please the Lord and to get free of the sinful reactions, I mean, he doesn't need to do the Ashwamedha Yajna. Why did he do it anyway? I mean, he'd already satisfied Lord Vishnu because he worshipped Lord Vishnu for a long time, and he'd got the mercy of the goddess of fortune and being also Rudra and also help. So why did he still do the Ashwamedha Yajna? For the common people, for the ordinary people, that they need to see that, oh, he's okay, he can do this Ashwamedha Yajna. But they have the faith that, oh, he did this Ashwamedha Yajna, this destroys the sin.
Common people are not doing Ashwamedha Yajna. Are the common people doing Ashwamedha Yajna?
No, common people, they cannot do Ashwamedha.
It's very expensive.
That's one reason. Yeah, that's one reason why they give it to it. Expensive, yeah. But also, the Brahmanas, Ashwamedha. So by doing the Ashwamedha Yajna, meant to please the Supreme Lord, so people also can understand, oh, now Indra is relieved of the sinful reactions of his sins. Then the next verse, the horse sacrifice performed by the saintly Brahmanas relieved Indra of the reactions to all his sins because he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead in that sacrifice. O King, although you committed a gravely sinful act, it was nullified at once by that sacrifice, just as fog is vanquished by the brilliant sunrise. And then we're told King Indra was favored by Marichi. They performed the sacrifice according to rules and regulations, worshipped the Supreme Lord, the Super Soul, the original person. Thus Indra regained his exalted position and was again honored by everyone. So that's pretty much the end of Indra. Now we're told about the benefits of hearing this story, of hearing this pastime. It's described for us. In this very great narrative, I tell you all the different things which are here. Glorification of the Lord Narayan. Statements about the exaltedness of devotional service. Descriptions of devotees like Indra and Vritrasura. Statements about King Indra's release from sinful life and about his victory in fighting the demons. By understanding this incident, one is relieved of all sinful reactions. Therefore, the learned are always advised to read this narration. If one does so, one will become expert in the activities of the senses. His opulence will increase and his reputation will become widespread. One will also be relieved of all sinful reactions. He will conquer all his enemies and the duration of his life will increase. Because this narration is auspicious in all respects, learned scholars regularly hear and repeat it on every festival day.
Maharaj, therefore the learned are always advised to read this because one will become expert in the activities of senses. He becomes opulent and then he becomes Indra. he will become opulent and all the opulence he will get. His activities of the
Yes, but if you read it, you'll be careful about the opulence. You may get opulence, but if you read this, then you'll be reminded how careful you have to be in dealing with opulence. Don't become proud. Don't forget the Lord. And remember our spiritual position. Remember that opulence is temporary, insignificant. The real opulence is in the spiritual world. Material opulence, the heavenly planets and so on, that opulence, that's all temporary. So don't be blinded by it. That's why Vritrasura didn't want anything. He didn't want any opulence. He just wanted to go back, get out of the material world. He wanted to go into the spiritual world, to be with the pure devotees, not with all the mixed devotees. The demigods were mixed devotees. But Vritrasura wants to enter into the spiritual world, to enjoy the kingdom of God. Okay? Alright, so we finished this chapter. There's nothing much in this kind of chapter. You can see. So why was Indra unhappy? Why was Indra unhappy?
He killed Brahmana and Vaishnava devotee.
Huh?
He killed Brahmana and a devotee also.
He was afraid of sinful reaction.
Anything else? Some other
And
reason?
people were,
Yes.
common people were saying,
Comment what people were saying about him. Yes, that's the thing. What people were saying about him.
I've also got written here, none of the esteemed demigods spoke to Indra.
Hmm?
I think some of the esteemed demigods gave Indra the silent treatment.
The demigods gave silence.
Is that
They
none of the
didn't-
esteemed
they didn't
demigods?
speak.
Yeah, they didn't speak to him.
And what is the greatest offense that one can commit?
By committing
To
sinful
the holy
activities.
name?
By committing sinful activities on the strength of the holy name.
Chapter. What about the questions on chapter 12? What are the results of action? How are the results of action determined?
Victory or defeat is not actually theirs. It is an arrangement by the Lord through the agency of material nature. Therefore, victory and defeat come according to the results of one's karma, and the judgment is given by the Supreme Lord.
Yes, good. And describe the dutiful mode of ISKCON devotees.
We should not be jubilant in victory or morose in defeat. We should make a sincere effort to implement the will of Krishna or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we should not be concerned with victory and defeat. Our only duty is to work sincerely so that our activities may be recognized by Krishna.
Jai. What is required for Prakriti mentioned in manifested in 24 elements to create different situations for the living entity?
It requires the Lord's direction. Everything is a manifestation of His energy.
Uh-huh.
So it's, Bhagavad Gita 9.10, this material nature is working under my direction.
Okay. Compare the Vaishnava and Karma Mimamsa philosophies.
According to the conclusion of the philosophy known as Karma Mimamsa, one's karma or previous fruitive activity is the cause of everything, and therefore there is no need to work. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the original cause of one's birth. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the cause of one's being killed. No one is independent, everyone is dependent. The true conclusion is that the only independent person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So, Karma Mimamsa philosophy says what?
Everything is up to
That their previous, they get this everything because of their karma or previous activities, they get the fruit.
And the Vaishnava philosophy says?
Vaishnava philosophy says that it is because of Supreme Lord is the cause of one's happiness or distress, whatever situation I am, Supreme Lord is the cause, not karma.
And we're dependent on inspiration from within, from the Lord, to take our actions.
Krishna's teaching that we have the right to do karma, but not like we cannot say that the result is also dependent on that karma, what we do. It is depending on Lord and whether He wants to give.
Okay. Identify the philosophical points presented in the purport, text 13. What's text 13? Chapter 12, text 13.
In the purport it is said, it is due to the mercy or chastisement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that one gains or loses everything material. No one is independent, everyone is dependent on the mercy or chastisement of the Supreme Lord. The conclusion is that even though we do not wish to be separated from our possessions, sometimes the Lord forcibly takes them from us, and sometimes He showers such benedictions upon us that we are unable to receive them all.
Okay, text 13 is saying, just as a person not inclined to die must nonetheless give up his longevity, opulence, fame, and everything else at the time of death, so at the appointed time of victory, one can gain all these when the Supreme Lord awards them by His mercy. So read your answer again.
It is due to the mercy or chastisement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that one gains or loses everything material. No one is independent, everyone is dependent on the mercy or chastisement of the Supreme Lord. The conclusion is that, even though we do not wish to be separated from our possessions, sometimes the Lord forcibly takes them from us, and sometimes He showers such benedictions upon us that we are unable to receive them all.
Right. Arjunendra considered Vitrasura a great devotee. Yes?
It's because though his discrimination and endurance, through Vitrasura's discrimination and endurance in devotional service, despite the fact that he was being killed, he was still thinking about the Lord and the fact that he's his devotee. And he showed that Indra saw that Vitrasura was like a friend to all and a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he saw him as a friend because he was saying, encouraging him, oh, you've dropped your club, you've dropped your weapon, pick it up and fight with me. He was being encouraging to him. And Vitrasura wasn't disturbed even in the greatest of difficulty, and despite being a demon, he was fixed in his devotional service.
Okay. Did you have an answer for that one?
From the purport I have. Indra was surprised to see that Vitrasura, undisturbed, was fixed in devotional service to the Lord, for such a mentality is impossible for a demon. That's what Prabhupada describes.
And they're fixed in devotional service. Okay. And then, how did Vitrasura achieve such a status? Yeah.
He overcame Krishna's illusory energy. Being a devotee of Krishna, he was able to do this. He took shelter of the devotees of the Lord, therefore got purified and elevated. So from his previous life to the
Yeah. What did you say?
Indra says to Vitrasura, you have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, and because of this liberation, you have given up the demoniac mentality and have attained the position of an exalted devotee. If one somehow becomes the Supreme Lord's devotee, whatever his position, he can be brought to the position of a perfect person.
Alright, so we'll stop here. So we'll see you on Tuesday. On the Nityananda Trilogy. And Tuesday we'll have class. Tuesday 1 class, Wednesday and Thursday 2 classes. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully.
Bhagavan, one question.
Yes?
In Karma Mimamsa,
Yes?
according to the conclusion of the philosophy known as Karma Mimamsa, once karma or previous duty activity is the cause of everything, and therefore there is no need to work.
That is correct, Mr.
Now this becomes for future now. Previous birth has come now. That activities, results of the activities of the earlier Janma has come now. And they say there is no need to work.
No need to work.
And unless we work, how to get in future? This is the base for the future. No? That is, because they are following half only.
Yeah.
Previous to now it has come.
Yeah.
From now it is going to the future also. So how can they say there is no need to work, because this no working will come again in future?
Well, that's not karma mimamsa. That's more like karma sannyas. Karma sannyas is giving up work. No need to work. But karma mimamsa, well, some people may say no need to work. Some people may say, I did the work in my previous life. Whatever, results will come. I'll get the results from the previous. But how to stop work? Nobody can stop work. You're still going to be working. Do something. You're still going to eat. You're going to get up. You're going to move around. You cannot stop work fully. Nobody can just give up all work. They try. But you cannot actually. The nature of the soul is to be active. So people need activity. So they'll be active to do something. So to say stop work, karma sannyas, like the vow of the python, remain in one place. Don't eat, don't do anything, just wait.
No, if the python is not getting since long time, they will not move, then also they will not move. Suppose no, he is not getting any prey, it has to move, no? Sometimes it moves.
Yeah, must move sometimes, but some,
In emergency case. That's what I see.
So these regular karma mimamsa, the pythons. It is
Mahaprabhu,
yes, you can go, yes. Yeah, Rishabdev, like he was doing like that, wasn't it? Rishabdev was just laying in one place. Huh? Yeah, Chakra. Just, if I'm going to get food, food will come. No need to go. Whatever's meant to happen, it will happen. It will come to me. I don't need to go and look for it. It will come on its own. Some people do like that. So then, it's not really karma mimamsa. But Krishna was speaking about karma mimamsa in Nandamara. It's one of the philosophies, one of the 6 darshans from Germany. Work. Just by doing good work, you get good results. It doesn't always happen. Exactly. Okay. So we'll see you on Tuesday.
What kind of time is that on Sunday?
No, Sunday 10th.
Exam.
In here?
That could be one.
This one?
Example, we're going to mix it.
Say that again?
Example, Bhakti or one module, second module. Combined.
Yeah.
Exam combined. Classes separate.
Oh.
Time is same, 10:30.
Only 3 classes left.
They are attending
3 days.
Just very
Oh yeah.